So good morning, everyone. Um, Today, our discussion is about birth order theory. And as usual, I will invite you to have a big picture. And we need to organize our ideas in such a way that we will not get overwhelmed with details. So this mind mapping will become a very powerful method to allow us to be uh, systematic in thinking. So let's discuss about this issue with four ideas. The first one is the proponent, and the second one is empirical studies. The third one is the concepts of empirical studies, and the last one is personal big takeaways. So let's go one by one. My first topic here is related to the proponent. And here we go. Uh, Usually we have this question: who, when, what, and so on and so forth. So, and the proponent of the birth order theory was Alfred Adler in 1908. And there are two basic arguments. The first one is that the early childhood experience will determine what personality you will develop. And the second one is the position of being the first or second or third born is to determine what personality we have. That's the argument. So you are the first born, and then you will be strong, and you are highly intelligent compared to your siblings. If you are the baby of the family, then you must be spoiled. That's the claim, as simple as it is. Now, what Alfred Adler didn't do was that he didn't do the field research. So he just made a claim. And we are talking about the empirical studies to ensure that the claims are true or false. Well, to make it clear, then back to 2002, I would suppose, at least about 20 years ago, Frank J. Salovey uh, proposed the findings of the empirical research utilizing the five big traits, and he claims that the ideas from Alfred Adler is true. And this is the thing that you need to elaborate further. You are going to fill out this mind map. How many studies are there? Okay. And who conducted the research for the first study? And when was the study conducted? And you need to describe the research participants, where the research was conducted. And you cannot leave these important things. What are the major claims? Well, this is very important for you to familiarize yourself with the concept of research. And especially because you are now studying at the undergraduate level, and one of the major issues in the undergraduate level is how to attend to research studies in a way that you will develop better knowledge. So, yeah, because you are the second semester students, and it is evident that many of you uh, seem to be not well prepared or understand what the research is all about. So let's discuss about this. There are two things related to the concept of empirical studies, in my opinion. The first is rationale. Rationale is the reason why the study is conducted. And the reason why is to prove statements from certain proponent. And these are the two statements from Alfred Adler. The early childhood experience will determine what personality you will develop. And the position of being the first, second, or third born is to determine what personality we have. So the researchers attempt to prove whether the statements are true or not. And if the statements are true, they become claims, the research claims, right? That's how scientific approach to understanding reality is all about. You listen to the statements from a certain proponent, and do you prove whether statements are true based on certain methodology. So the research methods here that you have read is the data gathering was utilizing survey, and then the data analysis was using statistics. And you can better understand of the research if you have at least two basic concepts. The first one is validity, and the second one is reliability. So the research is considered to be valid if it measures, or the study measures what is intended to measure. So come back to the rationale, the research becomes valid if the survey questions really attempts to gather the data of what the children experience in the childhood. Does the childhood experience determine what personality in the future? And the next one is, are the firstborn children different from the lastborn children? Are the firstborn children stronger, tougher, and more responsible? Meanwhile, the lastborn children, the baby of the family, truly spoiled. Now, if the questions from the survey address all the components of these two statements, then we call the research valid. Now, what about reliability? Reliability means consistency of results anytime and anywhere, meaning to say that the research claims are considered to be reliable if the data were gathered from different parts of the world. And the studies reported in here, unfortunately, mostly talks about or gather the data from Western countries. The Eastern countries or Southeast Asian countries like Indonesia were not included. So do we need to believe on that particular studies? I don't think so. So this is basically that when you read the text or research result, you need to question the concept of empirical studies, and so as to allow you to buy the ideas or to subscribe the truth. And as I told you earlier, I will discuss 4 things, and here we go. We come to the most favorite part of it. In addition to understanding the detailed ideas and concepts, in my opinion, it is very important for us to really gather the most important things from the personal perspective. And here, a couple of things that I have identified, the major big takeaways that I have in reading this text. The first one is, well, the truth is, I'm the baby of the family, but I'm not spoiled. And I'm questioning, the second one is, I'm questioning the claim that the later born children more rebellious. Is that true? I'm not sure. At least let's take with my family. And the third big takeaway is a huge thing. And this is my claim. After all, if such studies are true, we are drawn to believe in stereotypes. And that's the danger. Stereotypical thinking is the dangerous thing that human can do. Well, anyway, I will go one by one here. So, related to this, my personal life, well, I have two elder sisters and two elder brothers. And the fact is that the privilege of being the youngest in my family was taken by my elder sister. So I didn't get that opportunity to enjoy being spoiled in my family. That's the fact. And even I left my home when I was 15. So therefore, I've been independent early enough in my life. So that's the reality. I'm the baby of the family, but I'm not spoiled at all. I've left my home very early enough in my life as a teenager. And since then, I'm okay with my life. Okay, I'm not spoiled. And my second issue is, are the later born children more rebellious? I don't think so. Why? It is not true with my family. Boys tend to show what is right, or let's call it a bit more rebellious, But you know what? Girls tend to follow what family holds. So my sisters are very good at following what our parents ask. But boys just like me, oh no, sometimes we have a good reason not to follow our parents. That's the reality. So it's not the position of the children in the family that will determine the typology or the personality, but I think it's more related to the gender. And that's my perspective. Well, I can be wrong though, and you have your own argument to disagree with me, and you have the freedom to do so anyway. Okay, and then, well, and this is the big issue, that's a philosophy of life, because if such studies are true, I think we are drawn to believe in stereotypes, which is dangerous. Why? Because we tend to put people into fixed categories. Once you judge somebody as bad, and you will think that he remains to be bad all the time, forever and ever. And I think that's the dangerous thing. And this is an overgeneralization that is harmful for human being, I think. Such a kind of stereotypes had created war back to 1933 when Adolf Hitler came into power in Germany. You can imagine that Germany was at that time is one of the most advanced in technologies, but he was great at making the hatred towards the Jew people very powerful, and the whole country were blinded by such a kind of poor, very tragic, genocidal perspective of categorizing the Jews as the disease of the humanity. Well, and this is the danger of stereotyping. Now, while in my understanding that humans change from time to time, and well, it happens that we remain to change. And one of the basic limitations of the studies, I think the studies were done in mostly Western countries. In Asian people, I think, may display different characteristics. Or African people, well, probably they have different characteristics. So again, in this context, when you study certain theory and also the research results, you will certainly read in a critical way. You will never take things for granted. So there are two things that you need to do, and I will elaborate that in the LMS. Certainly, first you will elaborate the empirical studies. You need to explain the study 1, study 2, or study 3, if any, okay? And you will consider providing the personal big takeaways, yeah? You will certainly go ahead with these two activities and you will complete the missing part of this mind mapping. So that's the end of my presentation and have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.